his appearance here in Louisiana is all the more significant because Republicans have a narrow 52 to 48 majority in the Senate. He is there to support the runoff race tomorrow with Senator Joe Kennedy, who faces off against Democrat Foster Campbell. Perhaps more urgent, though, is something that happens tonight, 8.5 hours away. In fact, less than 8.5 hours away from a possible government shutdown if the Senate cannot pass the continuing resolution on the budget. Let's bring in somebody right now who's standing by live, who has endured multiple budget showdowns in his 30-year career, both in the House and the Senate, former congressman and former senator from North Dakota, Byron Dorgan. Great to see you, Senator. We've been listening to this. He is very supportive of Mr. Kennedy. It doesn't appear that Mr. Kennedy needs too much help. He appears he's got a lead here, but let me get your thoughts first on what happens in just a few hours if the Senate cannot get this budget showdown compromised.
Well, you know what? This is not unusual. You come to the end of a session, which is where they are now, the end of a legislative session, and the last remaining issue, in this case, it's funding the government, has some things in it that one side wants to put in, insists on putting in. The other side says we will not accept it. And, you know, it's kind of like playing poker, except there's not a table and people are not together. It's between the leaders' offices, back and forth, to try to figure out who's bluffing and who's going to blink. And so I don't think, frankly, that there's going to be a shutdown, maybe a few hours over a weekend or something. But the fact is, both sides want to resist a government shutdown because we've had a government shutdown, and the American people get pretty upset and pretty ornery about politicians that create a government shutdown. So in the end, I just think this is sort of midnight madness that goes on every time you come to the end of a session.
You don't sound too concerned. You know, we've got a block of Democratic senators from coal mining states, everyone from Sherrod Brown of Ohio to Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Heidi Heitkamp of your state. Right. As you look at what they really want, they want continuing health care to be extended for more than a year for retired miners. Now, Donald Trump really put his stake in the ground supporting coal miners. Don't the Republican senators have to be careful that they don't appear to be doing the opposite? I know that's not in their hearts, but if they don't sort of extend and give the Democrats what they want on extended health care benefits for these miners, do they not risk a bad optics here?
Well, I think there is some risk there, and frankly, this is easy to fix. The Democrats, you know, what happened is the Republicans put in a 4-month extension of the health benefits. The Democrats said we want a year. That's what's fair to the coal miners, they said. I mean, the Republicans can easily decide to substitute 1 year for 4 months. That's not a big deal. But, you know, at this point, they're resisting, thinking the Democrats will cave. We'll see. I mean, again, this is sort of trying to figure out who blinks. But I think the Republicans should do, especially given what Donald Trump did on the campaign in coal mining states. I think the Republicans should do what the Democrats have asked. It's the right thing to do, and the right thing in terms of what Donald Trump was preaching just months ago.
Well, we're about 8 hours away from the midnight deadline, a real budget showdown, but you've seen these before. It's lovely to have you. Thank you so much, Senator Dorgan.
Thank you.